Hey guys, it's the Infamous here. Before we jump into tonight's episode, I gotta tell you about our sponsor, Audible. Audible gives you access to hundreds of thousands of audiobooks that you can listen to wherever it's convenient for you. Use our link, audibletrial.com/infamous, and not only do you get a free 30-day trial of the service, but you also get a free audiobook compliments of the show. So head to audibletrial.com/infamous, get yourself a book, and get some money back into the show. Enjoy tonight's episode.
Okay, hi. You're listening to Infamous Chronicles. Yeah. Let me down.
Turn down for what?
Do you even know what's going on?
This is the Infamous Chronicles.
The Infamous Chronicles.
Featuring the infamous
Oggy Rocks,
Casey Moran,
Firefox,
P-Sack,
The Jester,
Scotty G,
and Gino.
Wait, what are we doing?
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
The Infamous Chronicles starts right now.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Infamous Chronicles. This here's your Oggy Rocks, rocking your socks on the microphone. We're here today with Genosaurus Rex. What do you go by?
That works.
Yeah, right.
He goes by that now.
Tater Tots? Todd?
Oh, Tater Tots.
What do you go by?
At this point, anything. I know. What can you rhyme with Sean?
Don.
It's been done.
Sean LaFron over here. We got Sean LaFron in the house.
Oh boy.
Alright, so our topic today is the flat earth and the lizard people.
It's part 2 of our farewell tour for Todd. The man he's got better things to do than waste his time with us on Monday nights.
It's part 2 of episode 99.
Right.
So it's a continuation of the last episode. So if you listen to the last episode, you need to listen to this one after that episode to get the complete episode.
And please mind that everyone here seems like they're pretty high, because I know I'm high.
I'm sober as fuck.
Oh, shit. Then maybe that's the problem.
I've been sober for about 18 hours.
Yeah, I'm stone cold sober, unfortunately.
All right, so we're sober on this side of the table, stone on that side.
There we go.
All right, Todd Reno from San Bernardino over here. Can you lead us in?
All
right. Go
right.
ahead and get it cracking.
Perfect. All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about the flat earth theory and then lead into the lizard people theory. So the flat earth theory, I actually just learned about this about a year ago from my brother, who presented it to me. And at first, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay. Okay, dude, we're like 2017, really flat earth theory. But then he presented his research and his evidence and stuff, and some of it kind of made sense. You know, I always keep an open mind to anything and everything, because you never know unless you really know yourself. So I always keep an open mind to that. But some of the things that he was trying to say was a lot of the pictures that you see. Do you remember the guy that jumped off, the Red Bull guy, whatever, that jumped out of that freaking up from space
From a satellite, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Free fall from space, right? So he was pulling up that video, and he was like, okay, check out the video. You don't see any curvature of the Earth. It's just all flat. And according to basic math of how big the Earth is, you should see a curvature. And even if you're on the ocean taking a cruise or something like that, you see no curvature. You should be able to see it based upon the mathematics of the size of the Earth, is what he's trying to say. So I was like, okay, I get what you're trying to say. Well, maybe the Earth's just much bigger than what we really think, whatever. But that, I don't believe in the flat Earth theory myself.
Neither do I, because even though we're tiny compared to the planet we live on, maybe it's just hard for us to see the curvature of the Earth with the amount of sight we have.
Right.
Did your brother ever think about that?
Yeah. Well, he did pull up some other things that was pretty cool. And you can Google it or YouTube flat Earth theory, and it'll pull up some pretty interesting things that you can actually go and do yourself to find out. When they went to the moon, right? They took pictures of the Earth and stuff like that. So if you go on to the actual pictures from NASA, you can zoom in and do all these things, and it shows a square around the Earth. So it's it's photoshopped. It's not a real picture. It's that stuff kind of is crazy.
Wow, how'd they have Photoshop back in 1969?
Man,
Well, that's
never know,
who
dude.
invented it. You know what I mean? Actually, while we're on this subject, I was listening to KFI AM 640, and a fella by the name of let's see, what's his name?
Larry Elder.
No, it was I guess his name is Billy Carson, and his friend Billy Carson was on the radio, and his friend Mike Thomas. They created UFA, UFAH, which is an organization that takes all the space photos and all the public information and really looks for the truth, and they decode the pictures that have been doctored for the masses. You know what I mean? And they found statues like Pompeii, but on Mars, like two human beings holding hands laying down, and they found structures on Mars. And then Russia has done a lot of trips to Venus, even though it's supposed to be like malted rock and stuff up there. It's really beautiful from the pictures, I guess. I haven't looked at them personally because this was literally like last week. I haven't had a lot of time.
I know.
But there's existing structures with like visible metal parts on both planets.
Putin is looking for a summer home.
Venus will be good.
Bring bears for me to wrestle.
But that's the thing is, it's like what you're taught is what you know, or what you see is what you know. So there's a whole lot that you don't know because they don't tell you everything, you know. And so, like you said, I'm a full believer that Mars was once a planet that inhabited life, and it's now a dead planet. You know,
Get your ass to Mars.
and so I've researched and you listen to these. They call them whistleblowers, right, from like the military and stuff like that go and they say their accounts, but everybody just calls them crazy. You know, they're just fucking crazy.
Discounted, yeah.
Yeah. So, but one guy that I was just looking up the other day, he was talking about back in the day where they tried firing like nuclear when they were doing nuclear tests and stuff like that on nuclear bombs, that they wanted to see what it would be like in space. So they tried to fire one at the moon to blow it up, but it got intercepted. And then some scientists, it got intercepted, so it didn't make it all the way to the moon. And some scientists would sit there and say that.
Wait, what do you mean intercepted? Like a defensive back just jumped up and grabbed it out of the sky,
It
or
was intercepted.
Was it blown up, or was it just gone? Like
it didn't make it. It was intercepted, is what he said.
Something or someone took it.
Well, because I mean, if it hit an asteroid or a comet or whatever,
they never seen the explosion.
They never saw the explosion. It disappeared.
That'd be hard to miss too.
Yeah.
A nuclear explosion.
Exactly. But some scientists will sit there and say that they believe the moon itself is hollow, and that it wasn't, because the way the moon was created it's only a theory. There's no proven facts or anything that says how the moon got there. And it's such an effect on our planet when it comes to the water and the tides and how we live.
Our moods.
Our moons. So a lot of scientists have a theory that the moon itself is a base for extraterrestrials.
Sweet.
That it's like the Death Star, if you will.
Oh my God, now you're talking my language.
There you go. So I figured that would get to you. So it's like, that's what they believe. And they did some kind of seismatic, whatever you call it, test on it, and the scientists say that it rang, like it was a hollow, like it was a bell. It wasn't solid.
This is the part where Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, "That's no moon."
That's no moon.
Is it full of cheese?
I know they think it's an alien base, bro.
Hollow.
Yeah, and then and that's the whole thing in the theory about when they first visited the moon, and how there's a whole big time lapse where they weren't there, like there's no communication with them, and what do they see, what were they doing, and all that kind of stuff. And there's the idea that there's structures on the moon, there's ventilations that they found on the moon, and so they believe that the moon itself is a base for the extraterrestrials that are watching us. And then you go into biblical history and they talk about the Watchers, and you start connecting dots and stuff like that.
The Watcher from Marvel Comics.
Right.
There's a Marvel Comics character called the Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he does. He watches, but guess where he lives?
Where?
The fucking moon.
The fucking
no
moon.
shit.
He chills on the moon.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's some truth to it.
Well, that's the thing is, you go into comic books and some like what was that Men in Black, where they read the tabloids and shit.
Yeah, that was
that's
originally
the whole thing. Is you never know what is really the truth.
Well, I know it's not flat Earth, but whatever. We can talk about whatever conspiracy we want. The movie Men in Black is actually taken from in the comic book, hence it's taken from a real conspiracy.
Yeah, so that's where
The Men in Black. They would come to whoever said they
I
were
think that's
visited
where
by
they get a
aliens.
lot of their ideas. Is like
Yeah.
stupid shit that somebody says like, "Oh, check this out. Oh, that'll make a good comic book or a good movie or something like that."
And
Now,
it
the
did.
flat Earth theory, I'm not a big believer on, but
Right.
the hollow Earth theory, I am a believer on.
Hollow Earth or Hollow Moon?
Hollow Earth.
What's
The moon? That's
What's
crazy.
the Hollow Earth theory?
The hollow Earth theory is that
the Morlocks? That's where the Morlocks live, right?
right, or which we'd go into the whole lizard people part, because they live underground. But there's a whole another world inside our world. We've only penetrated the Earth not that far, so we don't really know what's down there. We just guesstimate what's down there. We
Got to use a bigger
guess.
drill, man. Right? This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the bigger drill. So the whole hollow Earth theory is that, and that's where we go. Last episode we talked about Antarctica, and you can't explore there. You're not allowed to.
Right.
It's a worldwide agreement that nobody can explore there. But the belief is that there's the entrance to the hollow Earth is there.
Oh, that's where the door is.
That's where the door is.
Oh, fail. So what's is there a secret knock? If you were to get to that door, is there a secret knock?
It's just that's the entrance. It's just a big hole.
Wow. So
There's no door.
there's no
Well,
door. It's not like a.
What about the
like a
the
peephole or
matching
something.
hole in
Oh.
Peru? Or is it Peru or no? It's Argent. Is there one in Argentina and Peru? I believe so. Isn't there?
Is there what?
Recently, I want to say about 4 to 5 years ago, there was a hole, like a fucking just an earth sinkhole, happened in Argentina, but it was like very kept low under wraps. And then the same thing happened about last year in Peru,
I haven't heard that story
where
yet.
it's just an infinity hole. No?
No, I haven't heard that story, but
Well-
you never know. That's the whole thing, is that you go into this hole, and that's where you're going to find like just different beings and different.
Well, Central and South America, like they do suffer from a lot of sinkholes due to there being a lot of underground water in those places. So that could be where the sinkhole came from. I'm not sure.
Well,
if
there's also
so
there's
nefarious.
underground water right here in Simi Valley, right under us in this track home, or this home of tracks, this track of homes where we are now.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. There's actually a big river right up under us right now.
Okay, I feel suddenly quite uneasy.
You're welcome. To go
Get your flubbies.
to go on. That's why I wear my flip flops. So to follow that, another time I was listening to the radio on a long drive home from work. There was this lady, this doctor, I can't remember her name, but she has this theory where the lizard people that we're talking about, they're said to live within the earth and pop out and do their thing, But her theory is that they evolved from a dinosaur that looked like a small pterodactyl. Or no, it looked like a small raptor. And it actually, it's crazy, but listen, it actually,
what the fuck are you listening to?
some really awesome shit, that next level shit. So her theory is they went into the ground. They were the most intelligent being on Earth in the days of the dinosaur. Okay, so they went underground way before the meteor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
And they just evolved over time and became the lizard people as we know them now. That's her theory.
Well, the technical term for the lizard people is, if you wanted to look it up, they call them Dracodians or something like that.
Draconian.
Draconians. Yes, the lizard people.
Yeah.
And the ancient Indians, I grew up in Arizona, so the Indians out there, they believed their gods were lizard people that came out of the earth.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what their drawings are that you find in their ancient
So-
freaking tent cities.
Well,
whatever.
also they believed in the star people.
And the star people, and that's the thing, is where a lot of ancient ancient cultures or whatever, that's the thing, is they talk about the star people and where our gods came from. And then they go into the Bible where they talk about the watchers and the fallen, the angels that fell. And so you think about that. I don't know if anybody's watched that show, Ancient Aliens, but it ties a lot of like A and B, where your questions, like, it just pulls it all together. It's crazy.
The lady... Oh, go ahead. The lady that I mentioned is actually Native American.
Yeah, so those
And
people
she
are
belie-
freaking smart, man.
Yeah,
Like,
although they're more in tune with
Right.
the ancient ways. They have been covered up through the time, with who knows who covered it, But things have been taken from us. Stuff
Right.
that we're supposed to know and learn have been stolen from us.
Well, that's the thing is they don't tell you everything, and then you learn all these other things. It starts to get really scary because, they talk about the eye of Ra, right, in ancient Egypt. A lot of people worship Ra, and they have that eye, right? You see people that have tattoos and stuff like that. Well, it looks the exact same as your pineal gland that's in your brain. And your pineal gland is what they say is your connection to otherworldly beings, your other worlds in general, other dimensions. It's your all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
And that's why Egypt worshipped it.
Right.
And so they just recently kind of put 2 and 2 together of why it looks like. And so they feel like the Egyptians, it wasn't just like a god. They knew that was their gateway, that it was through the pineal gland. And so all the things that you eat and drink nowadays is so polluted, and they keep polluting it. And it's to damage and destroy your pineal gland.
Taco Bell is frigging up my pineal gland.
MSGs and all the bullshit that they put in your stuff. So the fluoride that is in your water.
Right.
It's in all of our water that we drink, and it does 100% nothing for you except damage your pineal gland.
But I thought that's why my teeth were so white.
Nope. It does nothing for you.
Your teeth don't need fluoride. It actually hurts your teeth. It weakens them.
So we allow our government to poison our water, and nobody does anything
poison our
about
bodies.
It. We do nothing about it. We just let it happen.
I just don't drink out of the faucet.
Right. So then you wonder
gross.
about these, the ancient Indians and the ancient cultures that had all this knowledge and this connection with these things that so many people don't believe in.
Right.
They didn't have any of these poisons. They were more in tune. They were able to understand a little bit more.
So the lizard people that live. Now I'm getting confused because I thought the conspiracy theory of the lizard people was that they were kind of amongst us, that they were walking, that you could be one right now and I wouldn't know it.
The idea is that they could shapeshift. The lizard people can shapeshift,
like from a tomato into a person, or just
from an
it's
actual lizard looking person into.
So like a
right here.
Like a T1000, it couldn't be as small as that. It can only be of something of equal or
equal size. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
From what I heard, from my understanding is that they've crossed their genetics with ours and made hybrids that are half lizard people, half human. So they look human, but they're still the lizard people.
Well, the idea is that almost all of the different extraterrestrial races are doing that. You have the Greys, right? The Greys are considered the Watchers. Those are the people that report back to the intergalactic fucking, whatever. So, but they do experiments and test on us and interbreed with us. And so do the Draconians. They interbreed with us. And so do the Indigos. The Indigos come down and they breed with us.
The Indigos?
Indigos are like the light people, the people of light. So the idea is that there's 7 different main races. That's the only thing I can think of, right? Different, different types of species of aliens, right? That have visited Earth and that has actual contact with us. Wow. And there's a whole hell of a lot more, but they have the same kind of like government system as we do, where they have like this intergalactic committee and government and all this kind of stuff. And the idea is that Earth was, or when they discovered it, that they used it as a mining colony. They needed to mine the gold out of it. And so that's where they go down to like Pompeii and all those different areas where they have all the markings in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And they look like airstrips, and it was a big mining colony. So they came down there and created us because they didn't want to do the work. So we were basically slaves for them.
For their gold.
For their gold.
They wanted to floss in an intergalactic manner.
We mined it all for these people. So
wow.
Different species came down, and different species had different reactions with us, and they all wanted different things to happen to us. They all had a different idea. And that's where you get into the different religions around the planet. There's supposedly like 7 main ones.
7? That many?
7. There's hundreds and
I know, but
different ones, but
there's
like
all
7
so many
main
similars.
ones.
I didn't know that there was that
and they're
many.
all basically really similar, and they all talk about God coming from heaven. He came from the sky. Heaven's above us. They all had knowledge of the stars. They all had all these different things. And so the idea was that they all have different hierarchies, and according to what I have researched, like the Draconians, the lizard people, they actually feed us off of us. They eat us.
They eat us.
They eat us.
Wow.
And so there's some arrangement agreement that
They are reptiles. Or are they reptiles?
they're like reptiles. They supposedly eat us.
Wow.
And then each one has a general outline of what they want to happen to the population, the human race. And right now it's like peaceful, like they're allowing us to do what we want to do.
Keep us happy. Keep us sedated.
Keep us doing what we're doing and developing and see what happens to us from the original people that came and created us, which was supposedly the Sumerians that came down and created actual human beings. And so I think it was Carter, or it might have been the guy right before him when he was president. There was a guy that came down and landed. He appeared in a farm field, and the farmer saw him, and he was in a suit.
Was he a peanut farmer?
He was just in this middle of this field, and the
That would
farmer
have been
found
Jimmy
him.
Carter.
He was in a suit, and he asked to be taken to the leader, right? To whoever your leader was. So
You got to be shitting me. He actually said, "Take me to your leader."
take me, to the leader, your president. However he worded it. He
Wow.
wanted to go to the president.
Okay.
And so if you look it up, you can research it. I don't know the exact names right now, but you can actually research it, and it's true. It's 100% true. This guy was discovered in a farm field, came to the White House, and had a 3-month stay with the highest level security pass that you can imagine. Just out of the blue. It was untalked about. Nobody knew about it. He was there for 3 months, left, and was never seen again.
Did
And
he
the
have
idea
mind
was that
powers?
he was an alien that came down and met with Carter and told him, it was like, you guys, or whoever it was, you need to stop with the nuclear weapons, or else they have to intervene. Like something bad was going to happen. And so they continued to do what they were doing. So he left. And then the idea is that something bad's about to happen.
That's very mafia-like. Like you better handle your shit, or we'll handle it for you.
Right? But then you talk about that, and you get into religion and all the different things of the end of the world, and they say that the devil will come up and he will rise to power, and he'll convince all the people that he is there for them and follow me, and the 7 horsemen will come, and
4.
you have Donald Trump, who just came into power, that just told all the people, vote for me because I'm there for you, and he's not there for anybody but himself. So there's a lot of pretty crazy shit going on.
From my understanding, that I think it was probably the same person, came down, made a deal with the government, said, we'll advance you in technology for basically your human rights over the people, over the masses. And then that was the trade that was made.
So now we have the iPhone.
Yeah, but it was the watchers that person was representing.
That's the one that they were representing.
Yeah,
He was like a consigliere.
that's my understanding of it.
Well, that's the thing, is there's multiple different species that have different arrangements right now with our government.
That's who I was told that our government made a deal with.
He was a consigliere.
But they were making
for the
deals
aliens.
with everybody. That's when we go back to World War I or II, whatever it is, when Hitler, they had connections with alien species.
Oh, yeah, they were flying spaceships.
They had flying spaceships. They were trying to get into different dimensions, and some people believe that he disappeared. Some people believe he went to the freaking hole in Antarctica, is living in the center of the earth right now.
Wow, he'd be pretty old.
Another thing that I want to mention about the religions.
Think he still has that mustache?
That the people that wrote the Bible, this is just a theory, were time traveling back and forth as they were writing the Bible. And those same people pop up under different names in all the main religions. And one of their names is Amen-Ra, is one of the sons. They're family. They're like sons of one man. Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
Whew.
It's crazy.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Like, everybody says Amen, Amen. Mm-hmm. That was the guy's name, Amen-Ra.
Amen-Ra.
Yeah.
Ra.
Sounds a lot like Top Ramen. He was the top.
But these are
Amen-Ra.
these are theories. Well, from me, anyways. You're coming with more facts.
Yeah, I try to research it a lot, because I was told about the whole Illuminati thing when I was like 13, and that intrigued me, So you start looking into things, and here and then there, and then it leads to one thing, and it leads to another, and and then you get people that like start to voice, or they get too deep into what they research and they disappear, or they
gone,
are killed, self-suicide, well, their family's dead and he's dead, the dog's dead, the cat's dead, everybody's dead, and they all shot each other. Weird how that just fucking happened after you just discovered something.
It was like some kind of Reservoir Dogs ending scene.
They just had a thing just very recently, like what was it, like last month or something like that, where they found that guy in the the guy locked himself up in the hotel room or an apartment or something like that for like months and never came out, and then he just disappeared, and they like were worried about him, so they came in and looked into the apartment, and there's like writings and codes and shit all over the fucking walls, and the idea was that this was the secret to humanity, the secret to life, and they couldn't find him. They still haven't found him. I'm trying to decode whatever the hell it was that's in there.
Who was this? What was this? Explain more.
Yeah, that's the thing is I watch some of these things, and then I don't remember the names of the exact places.
Todd, you watch them high, don't you?
I do. That's a problem.
All right, guys, we're gonna take our first break, or our only break. We'll be right back.
Or will we?
This is
First, take a big step back
the Infamous Chronicles.
and literally fuck your own face!
The Infamous Chronicles.
Hey fellas, do you need to get some flowers? I mean seriously, did you mess up with your lady? Forget something special? She's got something you gotta congratulate her on? You wanna just tell her how much you love her? Guys, seriously, all smart moves. What's not smart is not saving 15% on your flowers. Head over to our sponsor, bouquetinabox.com. They are grown here in California, all natural, delivered very promptly with this private message, and it will hook you up on the good side of your lady again. Use our promo code INFAMOUS, that's infamous, and you save 15% off your first order. It's so easy. Bouquetinabox.com. Use our promo code INFAMOUS, get yourself some brownie points, and save some money. Back to the show.
Now,
What did you say?
back to the Infamous Chronicles.
I said you look shitty.
All right, and we're back. Take it away, Todd.
The Illuminati did not shut you down, Todd. Keep talking.
So they just keep going forever on this other stuff. So either way, when you go into all these different theories, they all, if you start really researching them, they all start connecting with each other. Some are a little bit more far-fetched than others. Like the flat Earth theory, I don't believe, but in the same realm, it depends on how you think about it, because the idea is the dimensions themselves are flat. So here's a question when you talk about that.
Yes.
What do you remember in Star Wars? C-3PO, what color was he?
He was gold with a silver leg, left leg from the knee down.
For the most people that you ask, they will say he was all gold, he did not have a silver leg. And it's saying there's a lot of questions you can ask about different little things like that, and they don't remember it being that way. Something was changed. And so the theory is that dimensions will cross paths, or hit each other. And so the idea is that their dimensions are like sheets.
Mandela, man.
The Mandela theory.
So you're saying the dimensions will cross and literally change a movie?
Change things in your dimension itself. So
that's interesting, because I've watched movies, like saw them when they first came out, and then watched them again way later, and there was shit changed that wasn't there before, and things would happen differently.
That's where they say deja vu comes from. It's different dimensions that hit each other.
Are you sure you're just not watching the director's cut?
No. Like the DVD itself will change. My personal DVD that I own, watched it this time, let's say at point A. Point B, when I watched it again, was way later, but it will be different.
So, okay, let's just check and make sure that he's in our universe. The rebels destroyed the Death Star in the first Star Wars film. Is that how you remember it? Oggy, go. If he says something else, then we know he's been living in another
here's
dimension.
another one from Star Wars that they'll ask. I'll ask you, okay? So,
if you don't know, Gino, just ask me.
Yeah, so I'll ask you last. I know that you'll know, okay? So when Darth Vader reveals to Luke that he is his father.
I want to answer this so bad.
How does that line go?
Luke, I am your father?
Nope. Wrong.
How do you think it goes?
Like this.
Pretty close.
Luke.
Nope.
So here's the thing. It goes, how does it go?
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
Correct. So that's the way it is in the movie right now.
Yes.
But most people that you ask
they think
will say it's that way.
Yes.
Because that's the whole Mandela theory, is that that's how it was. That's how everybody remembers it. You know, when my brother asked me, that's what he was the one that brought up the whole Mandela theory to me. And he asked me, so how does this go? And I told him the same thing. Luke, I'm your father, right? He's like, no, watch it. And I watched it, and it wasn't. I was like, what the fuck? This is how it's always been. Like, how is that not?
So,
it's crazy.
Does that kind of correspond? There was something with 9/11. Like, people say, oh, yeah, I saw it on the news the same day, but there was nothing aired that same day.
What?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
From 9/11, like that kind of that I remember watching it on the news like this day. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was the same day or something like that. But there was no record of that, being on this next day, like the actual 9/11.
No, I watched it.
Never heard.
I have it vivid as F in my memory right
same
now.
Here. I didn't go to school that day because I fucking hated school.
So here's the thing. What you're saying that there's no record of any footage of it being shown on 9/11.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're agreeing with you that they saw something on 9/11. So what you're saying is that there is no recollection, or there is no evidence of anything being aired on 9/11.
There has to be.
On the day of.
I was home watching it.
That's kind of how the theory goes.
I think not the full extent. I think it was like either the second plane or some shit like that. I just remember it because it was about 2 years ago I heard this. And it just kind of clicked with what you said.
Well, that's the idea of the whole Mandela theory, and the idea that dimensions are hitting each other or crossing paths with one another, is that you cross with another dimension and it changes your dimension itself. So that's what causes deja vu. That's what causes things that you remember something being and you're certain of it, and it ends up right now that it's not that way.
Yeah.
So the easy examples are like the movie lines and stuff like that, because you can go watch a movie right now and you're like, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it being.
In the dimension I live in, I definitely saw the second tower get hit, and I remember it because it wasn't. The tower was hit from behind. But from the point of view of the camera I was watching, it was like the plane flew into the back of it. It wasn't the best shot.
Right.
It was like if this is going to be terrible pod.
No, I think I know.
It was like this, and so you're me. The plane comes from like here, boom.
Yeah.
So you didn't really see the front of the building get smashed, but no, I totally remember. And if someone says that there's no footage of that,
no, I'm sorry.
No, you're saying that there was no footage shown on that day.
When you saw it,
yeah, it was on TV.
Did you see it the day of
Fuck
on
yeah.
9/11?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right, and he's saying that there is no showing of any footage on that day.
I call bullshit on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a theory that I've heard. I haven't really looked into it, but
I bet we can pull it up on the internet right now.
Hey, maybe, just maybe, you should stay away from Venice bombs for just a little while and not take them so seriously.
No, this was my psychology teacher.
Well,
and
maybe it's time to go to a different school.
Yeah,
kind of graduated.
He probably has tenure. He can say whatever the fuck he wants and not get fired.
He probably could.
Probably good.
Funny story about him. I shouldn't probably say this, but fuck it, who knows names?
Is he listening right now?
No.
Then fuck him.
Not. Fucking funniest thing ever. So me and my buddy took his class, and we were kind of like this, fucking jokesters. We ended up, like, his parents knew him, like the teacher.
Your friend's parents knew your teacher?
Yeah. Fucking, we ended up drinking with him one night. Fucking coolest fucking... What?
But that's a bit inappropriate much.
I'm just saying. He's that kind of guy.
Well, then I take anything that cat says with a grain of salt. He's drinking with his students. If you were a female, you'd be trying to fuck you.
Yeah. Were you his students at the time that you guys drank with him?
Actually, he might still be trying to fuck you. I don't know what he's into, but if he's drinking with you guys, I hope this guy doesn't listen to your podcast. Just don't say his name. We should be fine.
Never did, but it was a family gather. Like, it was a big family party. And we were there because all the kids were there.
Okay.
It's not like he's single. It's like, hey guys, you want to get buzzed right now?
Got this bottle of cherry E&J.
Next thing you know, you wake up in the morning biting your pillow.
Ooh.
What happened?
Wait, still biting?
Still biting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, because you don't remember
Doesn't
what
sound
happened.
like fun at all.
Yeah.
No. So lizard people.
Yeah. So, Todd, what do they look like? Do they wear human masks, and underneath, do they look like
I don't
V?
personally know what they freaking look like.
What do you
It's not
think
like
they
met
look like?
them.
From what I heard, the ones that do have, let's call it the human camouflage, the way you know they're them is because they have sharp, pointy teeth.
Oh, shit. My wife is definitely a lizard person then.
But
She
are
has
all of her teeth like sharp and pointy?
No. Who the fuck has all their points?
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know.
That would be a good sign. If I saw someone who looked like a goddamn, Sharpay.
Once upon a time, I was at EDC, even though it was this past weekend. 3 years ago, I went for my first time, and I met a guy with these pointy teeth, and he had you could see his face, but he had a thing over his face, and like he looked like a humpback, or like a, what do you call it? The humpback? Yeah, humpback. Hunchback.
Quasimodo.
Yeah, exactly. And he swore he fucking knew me. He swore he knew me, but I got away from that fucking guy because he had the weirdest vibe to him.
But here's the thing, though. They say, though, that, with the crossbreeds and, people not knowing that they are and shit like that. So maybe
so he could be lizard person and not even know it.
You could be. I mean, hey.
I really don't.
No, I don't mean Oggy.
I mean, it's possible. But
no, not Oggy. I mean the sharp tooth freak like Christopher Walken from Sleepy Hollow with all his sharp teeth.
The guy swore he knew him. We all know Oggy's.
Oggy, you were rolling, weren't you?
Hey, what do you think about my sharp teeth?
Man.
You want to go get some Eggs Benedict and ride some horses through the quarry? That's my best question for Walken.
That's pretty good, though.
That's all I got right now for Christopher.
That was good.
I like it.
They say there's another theory that they say Clinton's a freaking lizard person.
Bill or Hillary?
Heard about that.
Yeah,
Hillary.
But Hillary's higher than him in the hierarchy.
Right.
But I heard the same thing, that she's a shapeshifter.
She's a shapeshifter.
There's no way he's a lizard person, because a lizard person wouldn't risk anything by getting a BJ, because lizard people, they're way too... I feel like they're... Oh, you
no, but it makes
there.
sense, because think about it. His family is part of some hierarchy. Clinton. She married into the hierarchy. She had a deal, spread them cheeks to get with him, She was giving under the table blowjobs for, to establish herself in the Clinton family. Yeah. And then once she birthed Chelsea, or test tube baby, however it became, such, she was locked in because she had him by the balls, Yeah. That's why he looks so scared now. He's just old. Dude, have you seen that guy?
He's afraid she'll eat him.
Dude,
they all look like they're fake, don't they? I mean, you look at them on TV, they all look like they're wearing just skin bags.
Joan Rivers is definitely a lizard person then, or was.
One of the things that I heard with all the presidents being lizard, the whole thing how it started was George Bush, or not started, one of the theories, I guess, was how George Bush was related to so many other, politicians and, other presidents on his ancestry.
HW or W?
The most
W.
George W.
The moron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they say that you could trace all the presidents of the United States, every single one of them, to the single bloodline. Every single one of them.
Wow, that sounds a lot like royalty.
Royalty. But either way, even the Bushes, they're the most political, powerful people that there are. And then George Sr., he was head of CIA, so he knows all kinds of shit.
He knows
they know
so
everything.
much shit. And he knows about Area 51. Right. And
they're all just Ponzi schemes anyways. They're just there for the face.
Yeah.
The real people.
Wait, what about Obama? Is he part of the same bloodline? Because isn't he Kenyan?
Well,
we don't know what Obama is. His mom was
that's
white
right,
English.
We don't know what he is, and he won't prove it.
All we know is his mom looked like the Susan B. Anthony Quinn.
Yep. So
an old white English lady.
Well, then he could be part of that bloodline.
Right.
Exactly.
But it doesn't matter because they're all controlled by the same people, and it'll stay that way as long as the Rothschilds and the freaking Federal Reserve is all in control of this country. It'll never go away.
The Illuminati, the enlightened ones.
This country was great when it was actually free, before the Federal Reserve came into power, which then allowed all the elite to take over, and now they rule.
Is the Federal Reserve run by lizard people? Todd, go.
Sure, they're run by some kind of race, some kind of species of sorts.
Do you think?
I don't think it's ran by the lizard people, no, but I think that they're definitely
influencing it.
I don't think lizard people are that high up yet, because they still live in dwellings. I mean, they don't have that much power. If they had the power, they'd be walking on this planet, eating us and breeding us for food,
like T-Rexes.
Right?
Sweet.
What was it? What's the queen that died in the car crash?
That was Princess Diana.
She used to call her grandma was a queen before her, right?
Yeah,
she's
still queen. She's still alive.
Okay, so Diana.
She is definitely a lizard person. She's
Yeah,
like
she would call
147
her-
years old.
Even she would call her like.
That's the
her
thing, and then she died.
reptile grandma.
John Lennon, the famous John Lennon, used to talk about shit, and then he died. These people just die and just get, assassinated, if you will. Like, do you really think paparazzi like killed Princess Diana underneath a bridge where nobody was at, and nobody saw?
Yeah,
just
Those brake lines could have been
coincidentally.
cut.
she was saying stuff.
Right, she was saying stuff, and you look up Princess Diana's last interview and listen to it. It's pretty interesting.
My mother-in-law is a bright bloody lizard bitch.
Right.
Next thing you know, dead. So
Is that what she said?
she may have. That was my impression of her.
Yeah. Listen to John Lennon's last interview. Listen to what some of these people that have mysteriously died.
He probably called Paul McCartney at that point in his life a lizard person. They weren't getting along that well.
No. Well,
But supposedly, the Paul McCartney that is now isn't even the real guy. It's just some guy named Henry from America.
No, it's a life model decoy.
Yeah,
sure.
that they did plastic surgery to.
Yeah, R&D. Todd, so I want to ask you something because I have a tendency to think too literal. Sometimes I don't quite get puns and analogies. Like I just have a tendency to go too literal in my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So the term lizard people, I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking of dudes like the movie, the miniseries from the 80s V. You rip off the face mask and there's literally green scales underneath the skin.
yeah.
Am I way off base?
No, the idea is picture like a lizard, like kind of like that same kind of like face.
Yeah. Like the Spider-Man
sharp
villain.
teeth, sharp like lizard teeth. This is
White jacket, purple pants.
like green, scaly skin. They walk on 2 feet. They have hands.
Have you ever seen a lizard that walks on 2 feet?
No, I'm just saying this is what
Reptar.
the idea of lizard people
Tyrannosaurus
are.
Rex.
Dinosaurs.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
That's why I will find out that lady's name because the lady who came up with the theory that they were dinosaurs and they were the most intelligent beings and they just been evolving in the earth. It sounded so real.
Gino just showed me a picture of the slee stacks from Land of the Lost.
That's fantastic.
So cool, dude.
That's what you get for Google.
Look, there you go. Todd, there you go. Look at that one. Wait, there you go, right there.
Yeah. Google images on.
Sorry, this is bad pod.
the
but-
draconians.
Draconians.
Yeah.
Giving you an idea, I guess.
So, but when we look at those elongated face, how could a mask hide that? Because a mask has to have the same facial skeletal structure of like a human.
That's why I said there's the hybrids, the ones that are half.
Yeah.
Lizard half human. But they're like genetically engineered.
Yeah.
Genetically, so you guys have heard
So they're having trouble hiding amongst us.
I would imagine so because you guys have heard of the difference between the reptilian and the mammalian brain. The reptilian brain is essentially can only focus on a few certain things like procreate, survive. Like that's pretty much what a reptilian brain is. So the lack of hesitancy to slaughter you if for any reason I feel threatened by you, that's reptilian brain. Or could the criminals, the biggest criminals that we have that are very like antisocial, personality disorders, sociopaths, what if they're lizards?
That's more probably.
Holy shit, Paul, dude. Oh my God. I want Paul to see this so bad. Okay, so Todd just showed me a picture of the Draconians on the internet, and this thing looks like something from a horror movie, science fiction movie, comic book. He's got awesome lizard bat wings. That would be fucking cool, though.
That would be cool.
But you have to keep that shit hidden. If you have cool lizard bat wings, you.
I don't think all of them have wings.
Oh, but the ones that do, they can't fly, or everyone would know what they are.
But can those ones even fly?
Well, those wings do look kind of small.
There's like another one.
Dude, that one is scary. Imagine you meet a lizard dude in an alley.
All right.
I just give him all my money, and hopefully he didn't eat me.
Some of the stories that I've heard out there on the Indian reservations at night, they'll come out and roam around, and if they find you, you could be eaten.
Yeah,
right.
I heard that's part of the agreement with some of the different species, like the Greys and the Draconians and whatever else that doesn't really like us that much. That basically thinks of us as things, not people.
That's hypocritical.
But there's agreements that they're allowed to take so many people. There's a certain amount of people that they're allowed to take, for their experiments and whatever.
A certain amount of casualty loss.
Right.
What's the term? Collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
There's a certain amount of collateral damage.
Because the elite don't give a shit about us. They don't care. They only care about themselves. So what the fuck doesn't matter if Joe Schmo in the middle of fucking Farmville gets abducted and gets tested on. Nobody's going to care.
And there's also what I heard on Indian bases, too, and government bases, that there's underground buildings, if you were, that these things live in, and the deeper you go, the worse it is, and they do a lot of human experiments.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Dude, I bet they're going to have to keep a thermostat down there, right?
Well,
because these cats are cold-blooded. These lizards, they're cold-blooded. Mm. That's got to get expensive.
Right. When you have, the Pentagon that controls, our military budget and stuff like that, and it's in the trillions and trillions of dollars. Sure. And then, just so happened when you brought up 9/11, where the so-called plane hit the Pentagon was where the budget committee was investigating the $6 trillion loss that the Pentagon had. They had no idea where $6 trillion went.
It's a lot of money.
All of a sudden, a plane just managed to hit it.
Well, that's
weird. Killed all the people that were investigating it.
It's inconvenient.
And then they stopped investigating it. So $6 trillion. So, as Oggy talks about, the deeper you go into different buildings or whatnot, you don't think that exists? $6 trillion disappeared, gone, missing. Where do you think that money went to?
It's not exactly like something you could hide under your mattress.
It's something that you can hide under a building. How many times do you go drive by a building and think nothing of it?
Most times,
all the time.
Yeah.
The same thing as like a neighbor 2 doors down the house. You wouldn't think anything of him. He could have little children tied up in this freaking room.
I know. But I want to sleep at night. I don't want to think like that.
Well, that's the thing is you don't know.
Right. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. Absolutely. But what you do know is $6 trillion is missing.
I don't want to know that.
That's what you do know. That's a fact.
Dude, I need to have...
Need a Men in Black moment?
Yes. Zap me, please. I don't want to know that. Because now I won't sleep at night. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah. So that's the idea. That's part of why I liked when the Infamous asked me to come on to this whole show thing. It was the idea of doing research and thinking about different things, think outside the box. And that's the idea is you can think what you want. You don't have to believe. You can be laughing and thinking I'm stupid and crazy, or too high, or smoke too much weed, or whatever. But do your own research. Look it up. Find out.
Well, that's what I like about you.
Start pulling out information and see where it leads you to the next thing, and then to the next thing, and to the next thing. I've been looking at different things since I was 13, because it got brought up to me. So do your research, check it out, and find out your own answers.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today on the Infamous Chronicles. Remember, if you like this type of subjects, listen to KFI AM 640. You'll find a lot of that stuff in the nighttime. Thank you for listening to us. Episode 99, Part 2. Have a great day. Or night, whichever it is that you're listening to this in.
Watch out for the lizard people.
Peace out.
Yeah, don't get fucked up.
If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Infamous Chronicles. Our show is produced by Jeremy Elder, talent acquisition is done by Casey Moran, and operations directed by Paul Sinacori. This show is copywritten Infamous Works, LLC, 2016. All rights are reserved. All of our guests appear signed via waivers. We don't own the rights to any of the music featured on our show. We are just fans of it. Visit us at infamousworks.com or call our offices at 844-4-INFAMOUS.